Controversy, opinion, your point of view. This is Prime News.
All right, here we go. John and Kate Gosselin battling over money in court just hours ago. Now, TMZ is reporting this, that John has been ordered to return 180 grand in marital funds, which Kate says he stole from one of their joint bank accounts. And there's another $55,000 in question. Now, a judge will decide on that later. It's getting ugly. If it already, well, it is ugly, let's face it. The judge actually had to tell them to keep things private. A little late for that. The reality TV stars, let's hash this one out. We'll take your calls, by the way, 1-877-TEL-HLN. Back with us, criminal defense attorney Drew Findling. Also joining us, Carlos Diaz, correspondent for Extra, and Lauren Mackler's with us, psychotherapist, joining us as well. All right, Carlos, let's lay it out here. What went down in court as far as the money? The accusation, John's taken a lot of money, and he's got to return some now, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, the judge said you have to return $180,000, which is big because it basically confirms that John took the money. That was the big thing. John said that he didn't take the money, that he was, due that money, and Kate has been accusing him all along of taking money. So the judge has now said you got to give it back by October 26th, $180,000, or you're going to be in big trouble. So that is a big blow against John Gosselin.
Who's handling the money, Carlos? I mean, are they supposed to just be playing nice and divvying it up 50-50? Are they supposed to be touching this money at all?
Now that the courts are involved, you'd imagine that there's, the arbitrator that's involved with this is going to make sure that the money gets back into that joint account somehow. The big question is if John has spent that money, how he has no viable income right now. I mean, how is he making money? I mean, the new thing that came down today is Michael Lohan, Lindsay Lohan's dad, says that John Gosselin wants to get involved in celebrity boxing to make a buck. So that's how crazy this is getting.
Celebrity boxing with John Gosselin. That's next.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think people will be lining up for that, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Let me read a statement. This is John Gosselin's attorney saying this, that all of the attorneys on both sides worked very hard. We were very pleased with the outcome of the court proceedings and the arbitration session. We are very hopeful that there will soon be a resolution. Drew Findling, if you're advising either one, well, let's take John, for example. What are you telling him right now? How do you begin to settle this thing down, make some sense? Because, again, 8 kids are involved here.
Yeah. Well, number one, you have to make the kids the priority. And anybody says that the kids were the priority, whether you're talking about John, Kate, the TV networks involved, is just completely full of it. What concerns me as an attorney, what I would advise him, and what I don't understand about this at all, is, when huge civil cases are settled, when there are large judgments, the lawyers involved so often make sure that trust accounts are established so that children can have the money when they need it, whether it be for college or after the age of 21. What concerns me here is that so much cash is available, and there's allegations about John grabbing it, Kate grabbing it. You know what? They should just have the money available they needed to live. And the vast majority of this money should have been used to take care of those 8 children who were apparently disadvantaged by how quickly they were born, namely twins and then 6 of them. That didn't take place. That's shameful, and it borders to me on legal malpractice.
Yeah, let's bring in Laura Mackler. Lauren, how do we get to this point here where, I mean, it just seems so spiteful. We're battling over money. You've got 8 kids in the middle of all this. I mean, where do we go to get the parties to think of them first for a change?
Well, you have to understand that the factors that pull people apart bring people together are the same things that drive people apart in relationship. And there's so much focus on he did this and she did that and he said that and she said that. And you need to cut through what's really going on down to what caused the deterioration of the marriage to begin with. Because those factors and those wounds and those places of bitterness and resentment just keep festering more and more as this thing goes on. And I think that they really need to find somebody that can help them, because even if they go through with their divorce, which looks like it's going to happen, they're going to need some help in how to co-parent with these children.
So you're going to backtrack to what went on during the marriage, and we kind of can figure it out already. John feels he was bullied, finally stood up for himself. Kate bossed him around too much. He never stood up for himself. All that. They're going to work this out now after the marriage?
Well, you have to go back even before that, because those patterns that they played out in their relationship are based on patterns that they both brought into the relationship to begin with. We replicate what's familiar to us in our adult relationships from childhood.
Yeah.
So you have to go even further back And you say, well, what's the point now if they're not even going to be together? But they have to co-parent these children.
Yeah,
and
that's a good
how
point.
and how they relate to each other as parents, whether they're together or whether they're, parenting separately.
Yeah. Okay.
Is going to have a huge impact on the children.
Let's take a quick break. We'll take your calls on this. 1-877-TEL-HLN. Welcome back to Prime News on HLN. Following John and Kate Gosselin in court, John Gosselin ordered to give back 180 grand in marital funds. And Carlos Diaz also letting us know that John Gosselin might be looking into celebrity boxing. Set your TiVo for that, huh? We're taking your calls, 1-877-TEL-HLN. Paulette with us in Vermont. Paulette, your thoughts here?
I'm for Kate +8. I think that if Kate did not treat John the way she treated him, and he said that's abuse, he'd be doing what he's doing right now, running amok. He's in a honeymoon period with this other girl, and that's going to run out, too.
Well, that's a good point. So you're going to watch Kate +8, Paulette?
Absolutely.
You're watching, okay. Well, you mentioned Haley Glassman. Let me read. This is her tweet on Twitter. Here it is. It's time to move on. The drama has taken over my life. Never mind the entire world. So beyond stressful. Like living in a state of paranoia. Aren't you feeling for her here? A little more. No matter what, I will always be there for John, whether we are together or just friends. He will always have my family and my support. Carlos, are they still together, or is she dumping him? I can't make this out.
No, you can't break up via tweet. That's the rules.
Oh,
you can't
sorry.
break up via tweet. But the bad thing here is TLC's missing out. What they need to do is they need to have a show called John and Kate. Put the kids aside for now, and they need to try to resolve these differences between John and Kate on TV. That's the show that most people will want to watch, and that's how you get these two making money again, because that's the issue here. Not the kids, John and Kate.
Okay. Lauren, do you like Carlos's thinking there? I mean, I'm with him to get the kids out of the way. Let's get the kids out of there.
Yeah,
They've seen enough and been a part of too much already.
Absolutely, and I'll be the one to work with them.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. They need the professional help.
They really do, and I want people to understand that the factors that they're playing out publicly is what people play out in divorce. Divorce brings out the deepest wounds and the worst behavior in people, and this is happening. We're just seeing it on air. That's all. But this is not unusual, and they have more money at stake than a lot of the average person.
Hey, Drew, would the lawyers go for that? Hashing it out on TV, kids aside, let's just get a settlement working here.
Oh, well, I mean, I think you could set aside the lawyers. It's just all the reality TV people. When I listen to everybody talk, Mike, you know what I think of? The satire, the movie with Jim Carrey, The Truman Show, where we all watched it and condemned making a real-life show about watching somebody's entire life, and yet it's taking place right before our very eyes. And it's just growing and it's blossoming, and people are making money, and people are making monopoly money. Of course, my biggest concern of the day is who the heck was their accountant when John said today, or said the other day, that he'd made $1 million, but after taxes he had $500,000 left. So
yeah, good point.
It's just crazy.
Let me get one call in real quick. Nancy's with us in New York. Nancy, go ahead.
Yes, I was just wanting to make a comment that they have all this money. They have $1 million home. They have cars and everything. Who's taking care of these children? She's on all these talk shows every morning promoting her books and whatever.
Great point. Nancy, great point. I mean, personally, and I'm just a guy from the burbs, you stay home and you nurture those kids. Stop showing up on The View and telling us how all these opportunities have blossomed for the kids. I'll say this. All of those 8 kids would much rather have the family still intact, and they can skip all the playhouses that they've been given through this TV show. Guys, great conversation. Drew, Carlos, Lauren, we appreciate it. Coming up a rare charge. A man